I'm Anthony Howard. Welcome to the programme. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz has addressed the German Parliament following an escalation in tensions with the US over Greenland. In the speech, he gave a call for European unity. Merz underlined Germany's desire to operate as part of an agile network of sovereign states while still adhering to a rules-based order. He said Germany would resist being intimidated by tariff threats again. The Chancellor also addressed recent comments from Donald Trump questioning the commitment of NATO allies, saying he would not allow German soldiers who served in Afghanistan to be belittled. All right, let's cross to DW Chief Political Editor Michaela Küfner, who followed that speech. Michaela, the German Chancellor had 20 minutes at the microphone. What struck you most about how he chose to spend that time?
Well, clearly he's now speaking the language of a European leader who saw Donald Trump stand down over Greenland and stand down from his threat of tariff against those countries that supported Greenland. And that was a success for the Europeans. It demonstrated that strength is the language that is also understood by Donald Trump in the White House. And at the same time, there's this huge dependency, not just when it comes to trade, but particularly on security. And that's where we saw the Chancellor walk a very fine line, which in the past was more leaning towards appeasement and hoping that Donald Trump won't lash out through tariffs or something else. This time it's leaning on the side of strength that he is eager to also demonstrate. And he also showed in that speech that Europe is looking for alternatives. The Mercosur trade agreement with Latin American states might be stuck, but it was just signed after 20 years. And there's this huge trade agreement with India. So let's just take a look at how he encapsulated that new reality for Europe.
We will only be able to implement our ideas in the world, at least in part, if we ourselves learn to speak the language of power politics, if we ourselves become a European power.
OK, Michaela, do the political translation for us. Was that the German Chancellor subtly following Mark Carney's lead here, asking Germans and Europeans to go elbows out into the new geopolitical landscape?
Well, he doesn't want to be confrontational. Neither does Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada, of course. But Friedrich Merz quoted Mark Carney in his own speech in Davos just after we heard that, and I think it is fair to say, historic speech from the Canadian Prime Minister. Clearly, he is no longer afraid of spelling out what was discussed behind closed doors before, which is how to generate strength. Now he wants to demonstrate European strength and is clearly overcoming what Mark Carney told the Europeans they should get over, which is some kind of nostalgia that transatlantic bond is without an alternative. Now, I know from conversations I've had with people working closely with the German Chancellor that there is a lot of thinking going into those alternatives and different avenues. Also, as European unity is increasingly difficult to form. So we will see more coalitions of the willing in the future, both on Ukraine, trade and other issues.
DW Chief Political Editor Michaela Küfner, thanks so much.